Right.media.
And we're back on the SWOSU Coaches Show. I'm Mike Smith, and we're joined in this segment by rodeo coach Mike Visnieski. And Coach, you take a look at the last time out. You went to Garden City, Kansas. It was a good day for the women. The men finished sixth, but the women take first place in that particular meet. Talk a little bit about that particular day up in Garden City, Kansas.
Yeah, Garden City, it was a good rodeo for the men and the women especially. We had 17 of our team members make it back to the short round. Almost half the team was in the short round. That would be out of all the schools in our region. We had right at 20% of Bulldogs were in there, which was really, really special. The women, you know, Sadie Wolver and Abby Hepper have been so consistent in the barrel racing. They're going to be placed deep or win it almost every time. Now we're going outside, and they're going to be even more of a threat. And then, you know, Allie Masters, she came in, I think, 7th or 8th in the long round, and you know, and same thing with Taylor Bothwell in the goat tying. And those two, they're just so consistent. In fact, Taylor had a 7-4 in the long round and a 7-4 in the short round. And, you know, they both ended up, Allie ended up second, Taylor ended up second in the goat tying. And, you know, they went from not placing at all to almost winning it. And it's kind of, that short round's a different game, and it gets to a lot of people. And, you know, those two really competed well and just did their job, and it worked out, you know, and they got a lot of points out of it. Our men, you know, it was still a great rodeo for us. We had a freshman bronc rider sweep the bronc ride, and he won the long go, short go, and average, and that doesn't happen very often. And he's a really talented kid. You're going to hear a lot from him. It's Brody Maccabee. You're going to see a lot of him. Our other bronc riders and horse riders all rode, placed. You know, they just kind of drew at the bottom of the pile, and they did their job. It just, you know, they kind of just finished toward the end.
Well, you have, 3 rodeos remaining on the season. The men's team, when you take a look at the Central Plains region, you're ranked 4th. The women are 2nd, so you're sitting pretty good right there.
Yeah, you know, the women, they dang sure have some momentum building up. It was kind of like this last year for them. We were like 2nd or 3rd coming into our rodeo, and then we got outside and really did well. You know, our rodeo really is, it's just kind of hit and miss for us. We've won it twice, I think, on the women's side, and won second 2 or 3 times on the men's side. And, you know, it's just like anywhere else. You know, number one, you got to draw. Well, you got to perform first, but you got to draw well enough to win. So that's what we're hoping for. They're excited for it. We've been practicing the last 2 weeks out there, so they'll be ready.
So what about the 49th Annual SWOSU Rodeo that's coming up this week? Tell us a little bit about the dates, the times, the events. Just kind of give us the rundown of what people will see and when they can come see it.
Well, it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 7 p.m. We'll have The slacks will be Friday at 9, and it'll run till about 2 to 3 o'clock. Saturday slack will be at 9, and it'll go till about noon. And really, one thing that we're going to add this year, we're going to have a specialty act. We're going to have one of our team members, Madison Shawla, is going to trick ride. She does it professionally. And then the Navarre girls, which are Weatherford residents as well, they'll be trick riding with Madison on Friday night and Saturday night. It's $10 a ticket, and we stubwire.com is the place to buy your tickets.
What event or events, or is there a particular event that's really the crowd pleaser when you go to a rodeo? What does everybody come to see?
Well, I would think all of it. Everybody, it's kind of like rodeo. You just say if somebody ropes calves and that's all they've been around their whole life, they might not be into the bull riding as much. And the girls, they're into the barrel racing, they might not be into the bulldogging as much. And so, I think that goes with the crowd as well. I think some people just like the rough stock events, and some people like the women's events, and some people like the men's events. But then when you get them there, and in our hometown rodeo, everybody's got dogs in the fight now. So it's fun to, it's fun to have somebody to cheer for, especially me as a coach. There's no way I could just sit there and watch an entire rodeo and go to all the slacks. But when you have dogs in the fight, it's great. Like, it's always exciting for me to watch my kids, no matter what event they're in. So I think, to answer your question anyway, it's just a lot of people like all the events.
Many different things. So spectators that come out this week, so let's say the show starts at 7, the event starts at 7. What will they plan to see, kind of in what order, and how long will it go?
So it usually, we'll start right at 7 with our opening ceremonies and have a flag presentation. After that, we'll go into the bareback riding, calf roping, breakaway, saddle bronc riding. It's easier for us if we split up the saddle bronc riding. So we'll run like 6 horses and then go to the goat tying, back to the bronc riding, and kind of run through the events. Bull riding's last. And we should be finished. We're usually done in between 9:15 and 9:30, completely done with the performance.
All right, Coach Visnieski, thanks for the visit on the SWOSU Coaches Show this week. Good luck this week at the SWOSU Rodeo. We hope you have a great crowd and a great turnout, and obviously a great finish.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you having us on.
Always my pleasure. Head Coach Mike Visnieski from SWOSU Rodeo with us on the SWOSU Coaches Show. More coming up next.
When you are making decisions as important as choosing home health or hospice for a loved one, it's important to ask the right questions. Is the facility locally owned? Are they proven through years of successful business practices? If necessary, can you transition from home health to hospice with the same care given? You can find all this and more at your locally owned Shepherd Home Health and Hospice. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice has served Clinton and the surrounding areas for over 15 years. Dependable, caring, and local. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice. Pioneer Cellular has the best coverage in Western Oklahoma. See the Pioneer Cellular store nearest you, or visit gopioneer.com.
There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, keeping your energy prices steady and affordable. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO. There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, creating jobs and more money for communities and schools. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO.
Weatherford Regional Hospital is committed to serving Western Oklahoma with the best facilities, technologies, and employees. Everything from the convenient care clinic to the highly trained oncology department to the top-of-the-line mammography and x-ray equipment, down to the women's center, nursery, and emergency room. Weatherford Regional Hospital strives to provide you with a safe, clean, comfortable environment. Give them a call today or check them out online at weatherfordhospital.com.
Need your oil and filter changed? Take your vehicle to CJ Southwest Tire in Weatherford. There is no appointment needed. Bring your car, truck, or diesel in today. You can wait in the comfort of their smoke-free lounge while experienced technicians change your oil and filter on your vehicle. CJ Southwest Tire on the corner of Main and Kansas in Weatherford. Your Bridgestone and Firestone dealer. CJ Southwest Tire. See them on Facebook and at cjsouthwesttire.com.
We're back on the SWOSU Coaches Show, and Marley Berger with us on this segment of the SWOSU Coaches Show, and he's a member of the SWOSU Rodeo program. Thanks for the visit.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you aboard. And, you know, I guess your specialty is calf roping. Talk a little bit about, you know, what does it take to be a good calf roper?
It takes a lot of hours. We're out there every day in the arena, practicing, getting our horses ready, getting our bodies ready. I mean, we're in the gym. I mean, we're as much of an athlete as a football player or basketball player. I mean, the only difference is we got to work with our horse and be in tune with them and make sure they're functioning. And we got to make sure that we're healthy and everything else is firing on all cylinders like it needs to be.
How long have you been doing calf roping? When did you start?
I started roping when I was 3 or 4 years old. I didn't start really roping calves till I was 9, and once I started, I never looked back.
What made you have the interest to get into roping? I mean, starting at such a young age, was there a particular draw that made you decide, hey, I'd really like to try this?
You know, I come from a rodeo family. I'm a 5th generation rodeo cowboy. So, I mean, it's all I've ever known, and grew up doing it and just never stopped.
Talk a little bit about the SWOSU Rodeo this week. How much preparation goes into actually getting this event put together for this particular event to put it on for for what should be a pretty good crowd?
Yeah, we've been working on it. I mean, since the first of the year. I mean, we've been slowly getting stuff ready, but now it's grind time. We were out there yesterday till 7 or 8 o'clock last night doing stuff, hanging banners, getting the arena ready, making sure everything's cleaned up so we can have a good show for the spectators and have an even better rodeo for the contestants that are coming to compete.
What do you expect as far as competition this week?
You know, it should be really good. We've had some really good rodeos. You're gonna see lots of fast runs and high scores, and it should be great for the contestants and the spectators as well.
Maybe for spectators that really haven't been out to a rodeo in a while, or they haven't been to one before, what can they expect though this week?
This week, I mean, you're going to see everything from 9-10 second calf roping runs to 70 and 80 point bronc rides and bull rides, fast barrel racing. I mean, lots of entertainment. It's fast paced. It's lots of action, and it's a good time.
All right, Marley Berger, thanks for the visit on the SWOSU Coaches Show. We wish you a lot of success this week and the rest of the rodeo season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll have more of the SWOSU Coaches Show coming up next.
When it's time to unwind, pick up a bottle of your favorite stuff at Butcher's Wine and Spirits in Weatherford. All the top brands at the absolute best price. From whiskey, bourbon, gin, and scotch to your favorite craft, import, or domestic beer, Butcher's has you covered. And when it comes to wine, Butcher's has the best selection in town. And don't forget to check out their sale rack with deep discounts. Butcher's Wine and Spirits on Main in Weatherford.
Your parents have always protected you and provided the best way they knew how. Now it's your turn to make sure that they are taken care of. Corn Heritage Village and Rehab of Corn and Weatherford is a community providing long-term and skilled nursing care to enhance the lives and meet the needs of individuals and families. Their mission is to provide the highest level of care for your loved ones. Visit them at cornheritage.org or find them on Facebook.
CK Energy makes every customer an owner of the business. Unlike other electric utilities, CK Energy exists to make sure your needs are always met, not to make a profit. And since CK Energy is locally owned and operated, CK Energy is always there with you, reinvesting in your community. That's why in an electric cooperative, the people have the power. Committed to our members and the communities we serve, that's part of the CK Energy commitment.
CK Energy, we light up your life.
On the corner of Custer and Main Street in Weatherford, More Than Medicine stands ready to fill your prescriptions in a fast, friendly, and professional way. They also offer an outstanding selection of gifts for people of all ages. Their Gold Crown Hallmark card selection is second to none, and More Than Medicine is the perfect place for a bridal registry. All this, that's why it's called More Than Medicine. Corner of Main and Custer in Weatherford. They're on call for you 24 hours a day.
We're back on the SWOSU Coaches Show, and we're joined by volleyball coach Josh Collins. Thanks for the visit, and I know spring volleyball's going on right now, Coach, so I'm sure it's good to be back in the gym and hitting the ball around a little bit.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. And yeah, we've been having lots of practices. Had a scrimmage already, and we have 3 more set in the Pioneer Cellular Event Center. So we're rocking and rolling this spring.
Tell us a little bit about the scrimmage. How did it go?
It went well. It's kind of relaxed atmosphere, but it gives us a chance to work on some stuff. I felt like we competed hard and played well. Played Northwestern Oklahoma State, Midwestern, and we competed well against both of those teams.
So what's it like in the off season right now?
Well, we go 15 hours a week. 4.5 of that is in the weight room, just getting stronger, and then we'll do some conditioning as well in the weight room. And then the rest of it's with the ball, whether it be individuals or as a team. This morning we went at 6 a.m., so the girls rolled in about 5:15, and we got after it and got that workout out of the way early so that they could focus on class the rest of the day.
What do you expect in the fall?
I expect us to pick up where we left off. We lost some very notable players, but we have some of our returners who are ready to, step in and play bigger roles. And then we also had a great recruiting season. So I think that we'll have a good chance to be good in a good conference again. So, it's a very good conference. Anybody can beat anybody on any night. So we'll have to bring it, but we have the talent to compete.
Talk a little bit about maybe some of the new faces we'll see this year.
New faces. Well, we will have Cameron Turner. She's out of Deer Creek High School and played for the top club in the state. She's about a 6 foot tall setter and the best setter in her class in Oklahoma. So we're very excited about her. And then we have a myriad of transfers, one of which is already on campus, Taylor Henderson. She joined us at the first of the semester. And then she's coming from Division I Incarnate Word. And then we have Carmen Kinsey coming to us from Tarleton State. She'll be an outside hitter for us. She was one of their better players at Tarleton, which is also a Division I, and they've had a very successful program. And then we have Aaron Thompson coming to us from Cali County Community College, and her team, she was a libero for that team this year, and they were 42-1, and that one loss was in the national championship game. So she comes to us from a very winning program. She was very well coached, and we're excited about adding her to the roster. And I think we'll add probably one more that can be named at a later date. But definitely those kids right there for sure.
You've been very fortunate, Josh, over the last couple of years getting some Division I transfers. Talk a little bit about that and what that kind of means to the program.
Well, it can go good or it can go bad. And we've just been very fortunate that it's gone very good so far. I would like to think that's because we try to recruit character before we recruit talent. And that's exactly what we were able to bring in most recently with Markenzie Benoit and Mackenzie Harless, two really good kids who bought into the program and then had, significant impact on the court. So we're really hoping that that's what we have coming in. We're already seeing it in Taylor. She's a great kid and she's working extremely hard. I think that when they understand that they're going to have to fight for a playing position just like anybody else will, it just makes it that much easier for them to buy into the program and get after it right off the bat. So we're hoping that that's going to be the case with our other transfers, and really with our freshmen coming from Deer Creek as well. She'll have to buy into the program and, realize that it's not about one person. All of us have to realize that, and it's a team sport. And so we're just going to do our best to be a great teammate and do whatever it takes to get us a win.
All right, and finally, at this point, what will you focus on between now and when the season starts in the fall?
Just getting better. And a lot of that is just, camaraderie off the court, them learning each other and getting to know each other a little bit better. And I always say that, the strongest family in October and November are going to win matches. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be the strongest family when we get to conference tournament time and national tournament time and make the deepest run that we can. So we're really trying to build that, as well as everything that we're trying to work on the court. So far it's going really well.
Head Coach Josh Collins, thanks for the visit from SWOSU Volleyball. Always appreciate the time, and we can't wait to get it fired up later this year.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thank you very much. Josh Collins with us from SWOSU Volleyball. More of the SWOSU Coaches Show coming up next.
When you are making decisions as important as choosing home health or hospice for a loved one, it's important to ask the right questions. Is the facility locally owned? Are they proven through years of successful business practices? If necessary, can you transition from home health to hospice with the same care given? You can find all this and more at your locally owned Shepherd Home Health and Hospice. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice has served Clinton and the surrounding areas for over 15 years. Dependable, caring, and local. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice. Pioneer Cellular has the best coverage in Western Oklahoma. See the Pioneer Cellular store nearest you or visit gopioneer.com.
There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, keeping your energy prices steady and affordable. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO. There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, creating jobs and more money for communities and schools. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO.
Weatherford Regional Hospital is committed to serving Western Oklahoma with the best facilities, technologies, and employees. Everything from the convenient care clinic to the highly trained oncology department to the top-of-the-line mammography and x-ray equipment, down to the women's center, nursery, and emergency room. Weatherford Regional Hospital strives to provide you with a safe, clean, comfortable environment. Give them a call today or check them out online at weatherfordhospital.com.
Need your oil and filter changed? Take your vehicle to CJ Southwest Tire in Weatherford. There is no appointment needed. Bring your car, truck, or diesel in today. You can wait in the comfort of their smoke-free lounge while experienced technicians change your oil and filter on your vehicle. CJ Southwest Tire on the corner of Main and Kansas in Weatherford, your Bridgestone and Firestone dealer. CJ Southwest Tire. See them on Facebook and at cjsouthwesttire.com.
And we're back on the SWOSU Coaches Show. We're joined by track and field coach Jennifer Johnson, and welcome to the program again this week.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
One thing we talked about before going on the air, you competed at the Southwestern Christian Invitational last week. 7 personal records last week, huh?
Yeah, 7 girls either threw their furthest or ran their fastest, so that was exciting.
Talk a little bit about who did well and who set some of those personal records.
Delaney York, I know we talked about her last week. She PR'd her 200 and 400 at OBU, and then she turned around this last week at Southwest Christian and PR'd her 200 again. Her 200 got a little bit faster. Macy Brown, she did really, really well in the 1500. Her and Courtney Williams both. Courtney just about tied her PR to the millisecond, but Macy PR'd her 1500. She ran a 5:06. I can't recall how it stacked up overall, but it definitely won her heat by a lot. That was really fun to watch. The 800, Jocelyn Shank and Sienna Collins both PR'd their 800. Zaylee PR'd the 5K. And Marley West had a really big, hers was probably the most noticeable. Her shot, I think she PR'd by 12 feet or something, 10 to 12 feet, somewhere in the middle of there. That was a really big one for her. So we were super excited for her. Yeah, a lot of PRs at Southwest Christian. That was really fun.
So pretty quick turnaround as you go to Canyon, Texas, and you head to West Texas A&M this week, and talk a little bit about headed there for the Meeker Classic.
It's going to be totally different than any of the meets we've been to so far. So far, we've raced against teams, mostly conference teams. Hendricks, we saw some conference teams. OBU was a lot of conference. This past weekend wasn't too many conference teams other than SNU, but we had local, like Oklahoma Christian, Oklahoma City, people we see all the time. West Texas is going to be a different ball game. It's a really big meet. There'll be mostly D2 schools there. I think there will be a couple of D1 schools. Even their unattached, I know last year, some of their unattached athletes that are just outstanding athletes. It's fun for the girls to kind of stack up next to them, even though it just makes them run faster. Having that big of a field kind of hypes them up a little bit, and it's fun to watch them at the bigger ones. So.
Only 2 competitions remaining after this week, so it's winding down pretty quickly.
Yep, this week we'll be in West Texas, next week we'll be in Langston, and then we have 2 weeks off to get ready for conference, so it'll be here before we know it.
So what do you plan to focus on in that time period of 2 weeks between the end of the regular season and the GEC championships?
We might kind of focus more individually on events, as to where now mid-distance is kind of all generically focused on mid-distance, but we do have like some people who are more apt to be successful in the 1500, while others are more apt to be successful in the 800. So they'll get to be more specific on which one they're more likely to excel at. Right now, we're letting them taper pretty well this week. They've been pushed pretty hard. So we're giving them a bit of a break to perform well this weekend and next week, and then we'll get them pretty beat up again right before conference, and then we'll do our last taper.
Sounds good. Head Coach Jennifer Johnson of Track and Field, thanks for the visit. Good luck this weekend when you head to Canyon to West Texas A&M.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again soon. Jennifer Johnson with us from Track and Field, and we'll have more of the SWOSU Coaches Show coming up next.
Bottle of your favorite stuff at Butcher's Wine and Spirits in Weatherford. All the top brands at the absolute best price. From whiskey, bourbon, gin, and scotch to your favorite craft, import, or domestic beer, Butcher's has you covered. And when it comes to wine, Butcher's has the best selection in town. And don't forget to check out their sale rack with deep discounts. Butcher's Wine and Spirits on Main in Weatherford.
Your parents have always protected you and provided the best way they knew how. Now it's your turn to make sure that they are taken care of. Corn Heritage Village and Rehab of Corn and Weatherford is a community providing long-term and skilled nursing care to enhance the lives and meet the needs of individuals and families. Their mission is to provide the highest level of care for your loved ones. Visit them at cornheritage.org or find them on Facebook.
CK Energy makes every customer an owner of the business. Unlike other electric utilities, CK Energy exists to make sure your needs are always met, not to make a profit. And since CK Energy is locally owned and operated, CK Energy is always there with you, reinvesting in your community. That's why in an electric cooperative, the people have the power. Committed to our members and the communities we serve, that's part of the CK Energy commitment.
CK Energy, we light up your life.
On the corner of Custer and Main Street in Weatherford, More Than Medicine stands ready to fill your prescriptions in a fast, friendly, and professional way. They also offer an outstanding selection of gifts for people of all ages. Their Gold Crown Hallmark card selection is second to none, and More Than Medicine is the perfect place for a bridal registry. All this, that's why it's called More Than Medicine. Corner of Main and Custer in Weatherford. They're on call for you 24 hours a day.
That concludes this week's edition of the SWOSU Coaches Show. Thanks to our guest, Mike Visnieski from SWOSU Rodeo, also Marley Berger from SWOSU Rodeo, from SWOSU Volleyball, Josh Collins, and also Jennifer Johnson from Track and Field. I'm Mike Smith, thanking you for watching this week's edition of the SWOSU Coaches Show. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Right.media.